Welcome to Cardinal Perspectives, a series featuring in-depth conversations with alumni, students, faculty, staff, and the extended family and community of the Catholic University of America. My name is Tyra Wilson, Athletics Advancement Coordinator at Catholic University. Today, I'm pleased to introduce this episode of Cardinal Perspectives, featuring Peter Donley, head men's lacrosse coach, and James Higgins, Assistant Director of Leadership Annual Giving for Athletics. Peter Donley was named head coach in July 2023. In just his first 2 seasons leading the Cardinals, Peter guided the team to competitive play in the Landmark Conference, including back-to-back appearances in the conference semifinals and several individual honors for his student athletes, highlighting the growth and competitiveness of the program. Under his leadership, standout performers have earned all Landmark recognition. Before coming to Washington, D.C., Donley built an impressive coaching resume across collegiate lacrosse. Peter brings deep tactical knowledge and a passion for developing both the skills and character of his players. I'm excited for you to hear their conversation today. Let's get into it.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm here with head men's lacrosse coach Pete Donley. Pete, thanks for taking some time out of your day.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So first, wanted to start off, Pete. You're in your 3rd season here at Catholic University. Is there a particular moment that stands out from your short time here so far?
Year 3 already. Wow. Man, so many come to mind right away, but one that really stands out happened in my first year. It was actually at the end of the 3rd quarter when we were on the road at Cabrini, and it was Cabrini's final year of a program as well, and have a ton of respect for what they did as 2018 national champions, I think it was, and a perennial, very successful program. And we kind of let the end of the 3rd quarter get away from us a little bit, and the team came together in the huddle, and it was a very simple moment where we all had to say we got to make one play at a time, pick up every tough ground ball. We have to sell out for the ride, and we got to start chipping away at this, because I think we were down either 3 or 4 at the end of the 4th quarter, or at the end of the 3rd quarter, and just throughout the 4th quarter, we were able to, stack winning plays and decisions, and actually end up winning the game, at the end of it, which was an awesome moment.
Yeah,
to see the guys go out there and put the core values into life. Right, and then just you have so much success together, which was great to see.
And I think an added touch to that game was, you guys as a program do a game on the road every year for alumni, especially in an area that has a lot of alumni, the Philly area. And that was our alumni game that year. I was up there for that, so that was even more special to kind of do it in front of all the folks that had come out specifically for that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and had a great turnout. Even though I think it was a Tuesday.
Yeah, it was midweek, definitely.
It was midweek, and it was cold and snowy, and had an awesome turnout. And this year will be up in the Philadelphia area again at Haverford College on the 21st, I think it is, and we'll be doing another reception. So excited to see everybody out.
Awesome. Speaking of alumni, you guys have a long, rich alumni history with the men's lacrosse program, having only been as a varsity program for 25 years and started as a club back in the 80s. Is there a particular moment or story that highlights the connection between alumni and the current team?
That's a good question.
Or just the team in general, I should say.
So, again, one of the first ones that really stands out is obviously the story about how the program was founded back in the 1980s, right, with Brian Kennedy and so many others like Joe Malley and Jeff Klein and Sean and so many others, and to see those guys still around, right, the program, right, with such consistency, and because without their efforts, without their enthusiasm, without their passion of starting the program, even as a club sport back then, to still see that same passion, every time they come out is so inspiring, each and every day, and seeing those guys at practice and all that, it's been fun.
Absolutely, especially somebody gave you a picture book last year of the first.
Yes, yeah, Joe Owen, who was another founding member. He kind of kept from all the pictures and stories and different things and obstacles they had to overcome over the years, and I think the binder ended up, and I know Kevin has it in his office, I think the binder's about 5 inches thick.
It's pretty thick
with everything, and it's so great to see still that living history every day.
Awesome. And I think that goes back to the culture overall as Catholic lacrosse, staying really close and being tight-knit. What are some of the values and attitudes that you use to shape culture under your leadership for this team?
Well, where we start, and it's something that we established in my first fall, is to kind of put out on the table, man, what is it, us as a group, what do we want to accomplish? And our mission every year is to be the best program in college lacrosse. And that's a lot more than what goes on up at Carlini Field. Well, don't get me wrong, that's extremely important. We're highly competitive individuals, and we want to win, and we want to have a lot of success. But that's not everything that our players want to accomplish here. So how we define a program is it's the education that you receive, the outcome that you earn after graduation, the experience that the players have here as current student athletes, but also the experience that you have as a successful and passionate alumni. And it's what we can accomplish on the field, right? You wrap all that together, to me, that's what makes up our program. And through conversations in my first year with the current team and the staff that was here at the time, I wanted to set core values that would be consistent every year. Because as a first-time head coach coming in, there are certain things that me as an individual, be that in my coaching philosophy or just how I've gone about my career, there's certain things that I hold very important, right? And some things that I think have helped me lead me to be the head coach here at Catholic University. But if I'm the only person in the room that believes in any of those values, we're not going to accomplish anything truly special.
Right.
So we had a lot of conversations that first fall with the staff, with the current team about, man, how do we want to accomplish it? What values do we want to bring to our daily actions, decisions, and behaviors that allow us to be the best program in college lacrosse? And we established 3. And so in no particular order, we're going to love our teammates, we're going to compete without complaint, and we're going to work with relentless purpose. And how that's evolved is then we've begun the conversations, and this happened long ago, but it's not just on the field, right? When it comes to the education that we're receiving, how are we competing without complaint? When it comes to competing for those great opportunities for either internships or jobs, how are we loving our teammates? Do we help them prepare? Right? Do we help them do whatever it is? Or do we work with relentless purpose of making sure that guys go out to have a positive influence on building a network and learning about opportunities and those kinds of things? So, we evaluate each aspect of our program by each core value.
Absolutely. I think that's great, and I think that goes to the strong culture and development that you've had so far, and that will continue on into this season. Speaking about the current team this season, what's in store? Obviously, you guys are coming off a landmark playoff appearance. What's in store for this season, and how's the team shaping up?
Well, we've had 7 practices so far, and practice has been so much fun. And guys have come back with so much enthusiasm, so much energy. Attention to detail is something that we've really focused on from fall into spring, and each and every day that's gotten a little bit better. Every day we have certain obstacles that we have to overcome. As I sit in here in my very nice warm vest, we all know it's a little cold outside right now, and maybe we're limited in terms of times of practice, or we're getting ready for our first snowfall, right, this upcoming weekend. Those are obstacles that we have to overcome, but that doesn't mean we can't find a way in order to make this day productive,
right,
for us to be better as individual players or as a team. And what I'm excited for this year is same thing I was excited for in the fall. It's so much newness, right? Last year's class, we graduated an extremely, extremely talented class. Guys who had been game day players in terms of starters or guys coming off the bench who had given us so many minutes over the last number of years. Guys who were all-conference players, first-team all-conference, offensive player of the year, whoever you say. Coming into this fall and then same thing into the spring, those staples, right? Those household names, so to speak, they're not there. And so it's every day, can we continue to find a way? How can we be a little bit better? Does somebody need to move into a new role? Do we need to give guys more opportunities in a certain drill, whatever it is? And so what you're going to see a lot of this spring, a lot of new faces, but a lot of energy, a lot of high compete level, a lot of dive outs, a lot of tough guy ground balls, and a lot of riding the ball back.
Yeah.
Those are things that are going to remain constant. That have allowed us to be successful in the past. We're just going to be seeing a lot of new people do it.
Definitely.
Which is still so exciting because I get to teach a lot at practice.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
I also think that's exciting, you have one of the biggest rosters, 61 guys on the roster this year, I think.
57.
57, okay. So it's still a very large roster.
Yeah.
It's the unknown, but it's the unknown in an exciting way. An opportunity for guys to step up, guys able to prove themselves and maybe become game day players for 2-3 years on end.
Every day is a new day.
Absolutely.
Right? And to have everybody have an opportunity to go out there on the practice field and prove why.
Yeah,
right? They need to be maybe looked at a little bit more, or maybe in a different role. And those are some of the funnest conversations that I get to have. Hey, coach, as a guy who's in either a defensive or offensive midfield role, but he comes in and says, hey, coach, I think I can make an impact on the faceoff wing. It's something I can come in, I can box out, or I can pick up tough guy ground balls. I can help us in transition defense or offense, and maybe not even have a stat at the end of the game, but I think I can help the team in this way.
Right.
Man, those are fun conversations to have.
Yeah. Speaking of the large roster, obviously that goes into recruiting, and I think every coach in here can speak. You do a tremendous job of bringing guys in and out. You really get after it, and it's something that you've been doing for years on end now. And I think as a head coach, you're able to fully have your recruiting vision. Talk a little bit about that process. Kind of where you learned it from and how you're applying it here, and also what's your favorite part about recruiting that many guys each year.
Ooh, where I learned it from, I was very lucky in my first coaching opportunity as a graduate assistant out at Illinois Wesleyan University, working for Coach Iannucci, who I still consider a great mentor. And when I have the opportunity to connect with him, I always come out of it, one, feeling better as a person, as a coach, and he still teaches me so much. But, man, to see what the program that he's built out there was really awesome. When I got there, it was in the second year of its program, so still everything was new. We were figuring out so many things, and it was just me as a graduate assistant and Coach Iannucci, and he had a young family. He had 2 boys under 2, I think, by the time I left. And so him in terms of traveling for recruiting from Illinois out to either Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York, whatever it was for recruiting, he had family responsibilities.
Yeah.
And for me, he turned to me and said, you're going to be doing the majority of the travel. You're going to be the person going out there identifying the talent. We'll work together to get guys on the phone and get to campus. But where I was able to learn it, and it was a ton of baptism by fire. It wasn't, and it also wasn't, he gave me, these kind of limitations or anything. He really said, we need to figure out, because it was a new program, what allows us to be successful. So it was a lot of trial and error, and I made I'm not going to say mistakes, but I went down roads that didn't bear fruit that at the end of time maybe I could have used my time and efforts a little bit more efficiently. And so that's where I learned it all, right, which was so great. But to then have the opportunity to come back closer to home and be the top assistant at Dickinson College under Dave Webster, who has built one of the best programs in the country and is one of the best coaches out there, and being the recruiting coordinator, it was very similar where Coach asked me to do a lot, but now it's solving different problems and different Rubik's Cubes in terms of identifying the type of student that we're able to attract or the lacrosse player from certain locations. And I learned early and often, man, it's a 365-day commitment that you have to do if you really want to have the opportunity to bring in the best possible talent, but also person into a program. And it's something that is constant that we do every day. And then also when it comes to bringing in larger classes, as an example. Next year, we got 19 guys coming in.
Yeah.
That's something with how we want to play, the retention rate that we have, graduating larger senior classes. Yeah. That's how the math works.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's how lucky are we to go out to these different areas or see different people from different areas of the country. Right. Luckily, so many people come out to the East Coast, not too far from campus here, where they'll play, but to get to meet people from all different walks of life, all different areas of the country, learn their story, learn what they want to get out of their college experience, what type of career they want to have, and more importantly, what type of person they want to be, what kind of husband, father, and how they want to go out and really make, the world better.
Right.
That's something that I truly enjoy when it comes to recruiting, learning what people want to get out of the college experience.
That's tremendous. And speaking of those recruiting philosophies, and I know you touched on it earlier with the core values of the team, what are strategies that you use to help players thrive as both athletes and individuals?
With that, I'll go back and kind of touch how we evaluate the core values into every phase or every characteristic of how we define a program.
Yeah.
Right, to go into talking about the experience that we get. Hey, are we working with relentless purpose with the experience that we just have around campus?
Yeah.
Right? Are we putting ourselves in scenarios where, hey, maybe we're going to be a little bit uncomfortable because we're going to go do this, activity or go join this group that's not lacrosse and it's not involved with my major, but it's going to help I maybe build a resume. It's going to help me make me just meet new people.
Yeah.
And that's where you really see the growth, specifically, in my opinion, 18 to 22-year-old young men, right? When you get them uncomfortable and you get them in situations where they have to, either do a task or communicate or just get to know different people, and all that's where you really see the growth of a young man into the person that they will become. And so that's how we try to encourage and empower our guys to grow not only on the field but also off the field.
That's great. You've been here. This is your third year now. What's your long-term vision for Catholic University Lacrosse?
Long term is be the best program in college lacrosse.
Yeah, simple.
Right? It's very simple. and I truly believe, and it's one reason that I was so excited about having the opportunity to be the next head coach at Catholic University, is I truly believe that we can compete for national championships here. Mm-hmm. I'm fully aware it's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to take a lot of hard work. And each and every day, week, month, and year, we have to find ways to improve so that we can get to that point.
Right.
But with what this university is, with having Washington, D.C. at our disposal, a high-rated academic institution with all the, I'll say just in my little silo, in terms of lacrosse recruiting, every major that I need in terms of attracting some awesome student athletes. But then also the direction of the university and this athletic department specifically with our new weight room that we have downstairs, adding on Coach Aaron Yonke in my time here in terms of a strength coach, right? Improving facilities and the investment that we have here. I truly believe that we can do it, and that differentiates us from not only the programs within our conference, who we are probably the most competitive against, right? Obviously because we see them so many times, but so many great Division III programs that are out there, across the country. Mm-hmm. I think that we have the potential to continue to grow and compete consistently on a national stage. And that's why I came.
That's awesome. Couple more here for you. What are some big things that are on the horizon for Catholic athletics as a whole and Catholic lacrosse, and what are some ways that alumni can help, give back and be part of it?
Well, for athletics as a whole, there's already been so many great improvements over, again, this is year 3 for me.
Yeah.
Right. And we've seen the update in the varsity weight room. We've seen the bird feeder come in. We've seen Coach Aaron Yonke. We've seen additional athletic training positions.
Yep.
Which makes a huge difference in terms of the experience and the performance of the student athlete. That's always so great to see, and it's also so great to see because during the interview process, it was talked about that stuff was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah.
Right? We crossed the bridge, right? We said we were going to accomplish a task, and we did. And I think the next big thing in terms of our department, and it's already started, in that first phase, and I know football's been working hard on it, but the locker rooms.
Yep.
Right? That's, I know, one of the next major projects that Kevin has talked about several times, not only to head coaches or staff, but to student athletes. Like that's one priority he has of creating a year-round space for every program. And we're beginning that, right? And the dominoes are going to continue to fall. And I think we're going to continue to work towards getting the football shovel in the ground. And then after that, we'll address the next few programs. And over the next couple of years, man, having locker rooms for every program here, I think is going to make a huge difference. And in terms of alumni, how they can help, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say it, right? Financially, there's a dollar sign, right, when it comes to that. But that's not the only way that alumni can give back. But with that, that's going to be the biggest box that has to be checked, right? Obviously, when it comes to an advancement perspective, from a fundraising perspective, we're going to need to do a lot of hard work, right, to be able to accomplish all those. For all 25 programs?
Yeah, 25.
That's a lot of programs.
And something that you just touched on, when you were in the interview process, you said you heard about all this and now it's actually getting done. And I think you have the perspective of coming in at a very unique time, really a month or to 2 months after Kevin joined us as the athletic director.
It was 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, it was even closer.
It was 2 weeks. I remember
you guys
the interview, I think Kevin had moved into his office like 3 days before.
Yeah.
And it was things it wasn't set up how it is now, right? It's like he'd been there for like 7
But you've been able to see his vision kind of come, and obviously it doesn't happen overnight. Like his vision still has, there's still work to be done, but I think he's done a tremendous job in following through and really coming through on that. So something else that you touched on, the financial aspect of it. You guys have had a great amount of success in the Cardinal Athletics Giving Challenge over the last 3 years since you've started. Touch a little bit on that, and then in extension, we launched our commitment club for the lacrosse program, the Crease Club, which we saw a real uptick in giving in this athletics giving challenge. Just touch a bit on that in general.
Yeah, and first and foremost, another big thank you to all of our alumni, family, friends, supporters, all those employers out there that do matching gifts. That makes a big difference, right? And we're so grateful, right? And every little bit makes a difference, and that has allowed us to give the best possible experience to our student athletes. And every single year we spend every single dollar to improve that year's team's experience. And it's been so grateful in terms of, new helmets. This year we have new uniforms, right? We have a new set of uniforms that we're going to be able to debut this year that I know the guys are really excited about. Game gloves every year. Lacrosse, not only in terms of having a little bit larger of a roster, but it's a sport where equipment, right? It's needed. It's necessary. And to not only give them the best quality of, equipment as possible, right? So that not only can they be as healthy as possible, knock on wood, we'll do 2 sets of wood, but so that they can go out there, they can practice, they can play, but also make them excited, right? Make them feel so proud to put on not only the Catholic University uniform, helmet, but gloves, sticks, whatever it is. I think that does make a difference, right? In terms of the day-to-day, how we go out and compete right up on Carlini. And so thank you so much to all of our supporters. It has made such a huge difference. I know our guys are very grateful, especially when we get around spring break and we're not doing cold cut sandwiches anymore, which I did my first year, and that makes a big difference. And sorry, what was the second part of that question?
No, just an extension. The Crease Club.
Oh, the Crease Club, yes. So
club.
We got that going last year, and we've got so many members, which is so grateful.
Yeah.
And the goal of the Crease Club when we first got that going is, can we get the membership up to the point, regardless of level, that allows us to kind of check the box of, hey, for all of our operational costs that we go about every year, Crease Club has got that covered, right? We're good. We know that from an operational standpoint, we're set, and then we can pivot our Cardinal Giving Challenge to be, hey, this is something that's going to be really, really a difference, either in this team's experience, hopefully down the road when we're trying to fundraise for a locker room, like that maybe be the main focus when it comes to that.
Right.
Is it a spring break trip, right, where we want to go down to Florida or wherever, right? And so then the Cardinal Giving Challenge becomes more specifically maybe for something, an individual thing that we want to do as a program enhancement, and not so much as an operational thing. And the Crease Club has helped us begin that journey. And so thank you so much for the people who have joined the Crease Club, and we got room for plenty more. So please sign up. And money does make a big difference, but there's one more specific way that I would ask our alum to help give back. Our guys do such a great job when it comes to professional development, job opportunities, and all that. They do an awesome. I think one of the biggest impacts that our alum have is when they come back. Right, when they come back to campus. When they come to practice, when they come to games, be that home or away, having an opportunity to go up and meet the person who's wearing the uniform that you wore, to meet the person that's maybe from the same high school that you went to, right, and still continue to build those relationships. I think that makes a huge difference. So come back and see us. Schedule's up on the website.
Absolutely.
We'll see you there.
Well, this was great. Be on the lookout. Men's lacrosse first game is on Valentine's Day, February 14th, and they will be getting forward to a successful spring campaign. For Pete Donley, this is James Higgins. Thank you for joining us today.